Hello, everyone. Welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you compete only with yourself. I am your Sergeant of Arms, Sunny Fridge. It's a pleasure to be back after being at the Toastmasters International Convention in Colorado. So much that I learned, and I look forward to sharing over the coming weeks through a speech. I'd like to give you a little bit of information regarding our etiquette for being online. And what you will see at the left side of your screen, and it's something for everyone to do right now if they can. Please mute yourself if you are not speaking. And if you see the yellow arrow at the bottom left of your screen, that's how you will work your microphone. If you see the red stripe, it means that you are muted and you're not speaking. And you can do that, basically leave your microphone on mute unless it's your turn to speak. Next is the video button, the camera icon. That's how you start and stop your video. You should turn your camera off if you have to get up to speak on a phone call, or if you need to eat or drink. Please click the stop video button, and then when you need to come back on camera, click it once more. Next is the participants button. On mine, it says manage participant, but yours says participants. And typically, when you click that, you can see who else is on the meeting screen. Finally, the chat. The chat icon is very important. It's how we communicate here at Competitive Communicators. And again, I think, Jerry, if you could mute your microphone, it would be helpful. And in the chat room, you are able to talk with everyone, as you see, or you can talk with one person at a time by looking for their name and talking to them privately. You're able to also save the chat in case there was some part of the conversation you wish to review later. And when you save the chat, only your private conversation gets saved with the general chat. No one else's private conversation gets saved. And the way you do that is on the left of the right, rather, on the right of the file, where it says file. Once you click that, it will say save chat, and you can save it for yourself. Our policy: by participating in our meeting, you agree that a recording will be available publicly on our YouTube channel, Facebook, website, and other public media. Again, welcome everyone, visitors and members, to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. Our president, Trish, is currently on vacation somewhere in Colorado, so I will take the honor if Aaron is not on yet. Mr. President, Aaron, are you here today? Okay, so I will take over for Aaron, and I will ask each of you to introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself and give us something that you've learned recently, or maybe one of the most important things you've learned in life. Something that you've learned. I see that our theme is commitment to learning. I'm going to start with Isabel Kadori. Isabel Kadori, our Toastmaster of the day. Introduce yourself, where you're from, and something you've learned.
Thank you, Madam President Proton. Well, I'm at Ellicott City, Maryland. I'm so glad to see so many members online today, and we also have some guests, I guess. Well, welcome here. I'm the Toastmaster of the day. Well, Cheryl helped me to pick the meeting, the theme of the meeting today. I'm thinking maybe because we have several members went to the convention, so you brought back that the contagious atmosphere of commit to learning. So that's why we're having so many members today. Back to you, Madam President.
Yes. Yeah, I wonder, what do I call myself? Well, you can all call me, just for the future, Madam Sergeant at Arms. I'm okay with that. Madam Sergeant at Arms. Next up, Isabel has just spoken. Kanan, our treasurer. Welcome to today's meeting.
Thank you, Madam Acting President. I am Kannan Shankara. I am from Baltimore, Maryland, which is closest to the nation's capital. I learned one thing, that learning never stops. You will learn till the day you die. That is the thing I learned. Back to you, Madam Acting President.
Thank you. What's in a title? All depends on who's wearing it. Next up, Cheryl Poirier, our club advisor. Cheryl Poirier, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you very much, Madam Sergeant at Arms. Yes, I'm Cheryl Poirier from Winnipeg, Canada. I think the most important thing anyone can ever learn, it certainly made my life much easier, is how to read and comprehend what you read. Because that can take you to places you would never dream of, all through reading. Back to you, Sunny.
Thank you very much, Cheryl Poirier, for those learning words of wisdom. Next up, your phone number is 1-502-938-1761. Welcome to Competitive Communicators.
That is me. I already told you. I am Kannan Shankara. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next time, rename yourself. All righty. Harry Johns from Las Vegas, Las Wages. Harry, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Boy, you caught me in the middle of trying to think of something smart to say. I'll go with the 7 P's of the military because I did learn those. The 7 P's are proper prior planning prevents pathetically poor performance. Proper prior planning prevents pathetically poor performance. Back to you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, Harry Johns. Woo, woo. All right. And this is something Aaron, our previous past president, taught us. When people are getting introduced or we're clapping for them, since we don't have our mics open, this is how we kind of acknowledge people. So if we can do that, it supports our members and guests. Next, one of our guests, I just saw her name, Brittany Ulrich. Please introduce yourself. Welcome.
Thank you. I am Brittany Ulrich. I am from Katy, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. But right now I'm actually in Boston for a work trip. And today I learned that Boston is a lot bigger than I thought it was. It is actually more like Chicago sized, and I thought it was much smaller prior to getting here. So that was a huge learning for me today. Back to you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
All right, you learned quickly. Welcome again. We look forward to hearing more about you.
Thank you.
As I look down our list of participants, Rainy Shiny Ding, welcome.
Hi, honey. Hello.
Welcome. Just
Thank
go ahead
you.
and introduce yourself and something you've learned.
Okay, so this is the introduction part.
Yes, yes, yes.
I see. Hello, everyone. My name is Rainy, and I come from China. And something I learned, I think I have learned many things here on competitive communicators. Like I learned how to help, how to support other people. I remember the first time when I came to this room, I was totally confused because I was new at Toastmaster International as well at that time. But then someone came to me, and I remember it was Cheryl or Trisha or Sunny, I forgot, but many people came to me and talked to me, private chat to me, that how do I need any help, and do I want any mentor or guide. And I think they're very warm-hearted and friendly, and this is something that I learned in this club. And yeah, back
Thank
to
you so much. Thank you so much. Rainy Ding is also our secretary this season. Thank you. Chris Mitchell, if I haven't said hello to you yet, welcome.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you live. I'm Chris Mitchell. I'm in Webb City, Missouri, which is in southwest Missouri, near Joplin, Missouri. And one of the things that I like to refer to, think about when you mention learning, is something I saw in the Yogi Bear movie. Yogi Bear said he has learned that light mayonnaise is not as good as regular mayonnaise, and he's right about that. Back to you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, but if it has a bit of avocado in it, it's good. Thank you for sharing. Dora Lee, welcome. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, Dora Lee.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dora from Guangzhou, China. The thing that I have learned is that there are so many things that I need to learn in the world, and I will keep learning and I will keep exploring the world. Thank you. Back to you, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you very much. Gerard O'Hanlon is in the house. We don't know where in the world is he. About to find out.
Thank you, Madam Sergeant at Arms. Gerard O'Hanlon here, and I am still presently in Smoky Mountains on a beautiful river. Everything's good here. I like to think that part of learning has to do with always being inquisitive. And I think that's part of my happiness. As long as I'm, inquisitive, I can find stuff and be awed by it. So presently, I'm trying to learn social media. For this old guy, it's a big learning curve. It's like another language. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you very much, very much. Hariam, welcome to our meeting.
Thank you, Madam Sergeant at Arms. Hello, everybody. This is Hariom from Jersey City in New Jersey. I live very, very close to New York. And one thing that I learned recently was that spent less on things and more on experiences. And when I see Gerard's background, I feel that that is actually right. Back to you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you. Wise words. Very good. Thank you. Jerry, welcome again to our meeting.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry from Ellicott City, Maryland. I want to share the commitment to learning is all about discipline. So actually, my family was on vacation to China, and my boy takes his clarinet music instrument with him. He is so disciplined to play it every day. So that's discipline. Back to you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, Jerry Wong. Thank you. Matt Smittle, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Matt Smittle. I live in Blairsville, Georgia. One thing I've been trying to learn over the past 3 days is how to create a blog. I've been using WordPress, which I don't recommend after these 3 days. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to start using a different service called Wix and see how that works out. Madam Presiding Officer, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I like WordPress, but I will trust your experience is unique. Thank you very much. Let's see who else is left. Mike Thorn, I'm so sorry. Have I already said hello to you, Mike Thorn?
You have now. Kanan, before I forget, you have a private message from me in the chat line. What have I learned? Well, by the way, I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina. And what I've learned very, very recently is I'm going to really enjoy this club. Looks like a tremendous group of people.
And you just say back to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Table Topics Evaluator, William Thomas, welcome to our meeting.
Thank you, Madam Acting President and Sergeant at Arms, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is William Thomas. I am the Assistant Vice President of Membership. I live in Hollywood, Florida, which is District 47, South Florida and the Bahamas. And one thing I understand, learning is a continuous journey. You always learn something new, and something exciting is always around the corner, Madam Acting President.
Thank you for sharing. Welcome again, William. G-I-R-I. I believe that's also pronounced Giri or Jiri. Please introduce yourself. Okay, we will probably come back to Jiri or Giri later. I know you've been here before. At this point, have I missed anyone else? Please unmute yourself and say hello.
You might have forgotten someone.
She's back! What are you doing here? Madam President is in the house. Welcome back, Tricia Grow. Well, I've done your role for the beginning. You get to do your ending. Everyone, please wave your hands. Our president is in the house. Yay. Hey, Tricia, go ahead, introduce yourself and carry on from there.
Hello, I'm Tricia Grove, currently out of Colorado, flying back to Pennsylvania early tomorrow morning. I'm pleased to be here, and I'll please continue. I'm going to be going for dinner, but I thought I would pop in and say hello.
Well, it's always good to see you. For those of you who don't know, I got the chance to meet Tricia in person, and actually I stayed with her in a bed and breakfast, and it was a wonderful experience. Her husband was so great, being our private chauffeur, taking us back and forth to the convention and taking us around the city when we needed to go for groceries and eating out at restaurants. So wonderful experience. Tricia, good to see you, and we look forward to you coming back if you're not going to stay. At this time, I am going to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, our Toastmaster or mistress. It is Isabel Cadore, one of my favorite Toastmasters. Let's all welcome Isabel Cadore, Toastmaster of the day. And I will try one more time. Isabel Cadore, are you still there? Because
sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. I went on without unmuting. Well, thank you, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, and especially honored guests. Hope you will enjoy our meeting. Our theme today is commitment to learning. We are from all over the world, and we are together joining this online meeting because of our commitment to learning in public speaking. For the benefit of our guests and you members, I will briefly explain our meeting flows. Our meeting has 3 parts. First, the prepared speeches is where we have our members deliver speeches based on the Toastmasters manuals. Secondly, we will have members and guests practice the skill of thinking on their feet and speaking off the cuff. This is also known as the impromptu speech session. After that, we will have our evaluation session. One of the best ways to get better at performing speeches is to get better at listening to speeches and analyzing speeches. Through speech evaluations, we practice active listening skills and the skills of giving constructive feedback. As Toastmaster of the Day, it's my duty to introduce a team of helpers who will assist in the running of the meeting. First, I would like to call our inspiration person. Jerry Wang will give us the inspiration of the day. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Jerry.
Thanks, Ms. Toastmaster. Today's inspiration quote is from Earl Nightingale, who was the famous American radio speaker. For any problem, no matter how big or how complex it may be, there is a solution. I hope it helps you. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jerry. Now I would like to introduce our accountant, is Cheryl Poirier. Cheryl, please explain your role.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I am the all counter and the grammarian, so if you don't mind, I'll just do them both.
Please.
As all counter, I'm looking for those little filler words we like to use when we're trying to think. Or maybe it's simply a bad habit. The excessive use of the word so to join sentences, or the word and to join sentences improperly. As grammarian, I will be giving you a word of the day for you to use as much as possible as you speak, and also be looking for excellent use of the English language, or maybe some grammatical errors. I find those to be few and far between in this club. If you don't mind, I'll just share my screen to show you the word of the day. Since I'm the host, I'm getting a crazy message. All right. So the word of the day today is commitment, which can be a strong belief in an idea or a system, such as commitment to the ideals of Toastmasters. It can be something which regularly takes up some of your time because of an agreement you've made or because of responsibilities that you have. For example, I've made a commitment to competitive communicators. Try saying that one 3 times fast. Or it's to do something, a promise that will do it, such as we made a commitment to keep working together. There are other meanings to the word commitment, such as putting someone in jail, but I prefer that we use these positive meanings if we can, although if you use it properly otherwise, I will certainly give you credit for it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Cheryl, for doing double duty. That's a double commitment. Now I would like to call our body language monitor. Our body language monitor is Aaron Liang. Aaron, would you please introduce your role? Is Aaron here?
I don't see him, Madam
No.
Toastmaster. I would be happy to do that.
Okay. Okay, then.
Okay, thank you, William. William, please introduce the role of body language monitor.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters, the body language monitor's job is to look for good body movement and not so good body movement. And we'll give a report to the Toastmaster of the day or general evaluator, whichever calls for the reports. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, William. Thank you for volunteer role. I know William already signed up for triple duty. Thank you. Now I would like to call our chat monitor, Rainy Ding. Rainy, please explain your role.
Hello, everyone. Being a chat monitor, I would observe and collect all the good comments in the chat box from everyone and share it later after the speeches in the evaluation section. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Madam Chat Monitor. Now we're going to call our timekeeper because timing is very important to have an effective meeting. Who is our timer today? It's we have one role missing on the agenda. Let me put on the gallery view. Oh, I see Gerard. Gerard, would you please explain the timer's role? Thank you for volunteering.
You're welcome. Yes, Ms. President. Timer's role is I'll be timing everybody throughout the meeting, but in particular speeches. And I'll have 3 colors. I'll put up a green when you hit your minimum amount of time. I'll show a yellow when you're halfway through your minimum time, and red means you have 30 seconds left. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gerard. Do you have a signal? Oh, is this the timing signal? Gerard, I'll mute you. What did you say?
Yes, I will.
Okay, great. I love your background, by the way. Thank you. Now we're going to start the prepared speech section of the meeting. Our first speaker is Dora Lee. She is working on the Pathways Manual Persuasive Influence Level 1, Mastering Fundamental. The project is about researching and presenting. Her speech is titled My Soup and Soul. She's going to walk us through what's the relationship between Dora's soup and soul. Please help us welcome Dora.
Dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests, do you like drinking soup? Do you find cooking soup difficult? Today, as a chef, I will share with you my secret recipe to the world's most tasty soup. This is something I have never shared with anyone before, but to lovely Toastmasters like you. Would you like to hear about it? Before sharing my secret recipe, I will share with you my cooking philosophy first. What do you think is the most important thing when you are cooking the dinner? My cooking philosophy is life is like a pot of soup. You never know what are inside.
Go lay down. Go.
Even when you have a copy of my secret recipe, it doesn't mean that you can cook the same soup that has the same taste like mine. You need to cook with a spirit of curiosity. You need to keep trying and discovering the unknown. Then you can cook your own. Then you can make your own unique taste for the soup. Now, I will share with you my secret recipe. This is the most important part of my speech. Sorry, I will share you with a PPT. Now, can you see my recipe here? Yeah, today I will provide you my secret recipe to the chicken herbal soup. So, what are the most important ingredients in this chicken soup? First, you need to prepare the dry herbs and the fresh chicken. And second, you need to put all the ingredients in the pot. And remember, you need to bring them to a boil and then simmer the chicken until it is tender and fully cooked. Now I want to ask you a question. What are the most important part of this recipe? Do you still remember? Is it the chicken or is it the dry herbs? Do you still remember what I said earlier? It's your soul. It's your soul. Excuse me. When it's your soul of curiosity. I imagine, what if the rack dates are sold out? What would you do? What if your guest doesn't like the taste of herb? Would you still serve the chicken soup? What if you forgot to buy the chicken? Is it the end of the world? Now I want you to calm down and take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. You can play magic on this chicken soup. When even the red dates are sold out, you can always use dry longan. If your guest doesn't like the taste of herb, you can always use lotus root, mushroom, or carrot. If you forgot to buy the chicken, don't forget the chop that in your fridge. See the magic you can play with your chicken soup? You can also play the magic on many other dishes. You can always play the magic on the pizzas that you cook, on the cake, on the bread, on many different delicious food. And you can even play the magic on your own life. Do you know that? You start in the rain. Just wait. Maybe later you can see the rainbow. You just lose your job. It's an opportunity that you can find a new boss, or you can be your own boss. You are scared of public speaking? Just join Toastmaster. Life is like a pot of soup. You never know what are inside. But if you master the soul of soup, you master the key to life. You can create your own life. You can create your own life. You can create your own recipe to the life. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you for giving us such an inspiring speech. Now I would like to call for 1 minute. Please send your feedback and encouragement to Dora through chat. Mr. Timer, please let me know when 1 minute is up. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. President, 1 minute's up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Now I would like to call our second speaker, Rainy Ding. She's working on engaging humor, level 1, mastering fundamental. Her project is about evaluation and feedback. This is the second speech. Her speech is titled Persuasive Sales Format. Persuasive Sales Format. Please help me welcome Rainy.
Oh, my speech will last 8 to 10 minutes. You forget to mention about that, Isabel. But no worry. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you a question. What do you think is the most important thing to your happiness? Well, it may sound a little bit cliche, but think about it. Is it the money you earn, the power you have, or for some male friends, the women you have slept with? Well, according to a research conducted by Harvard Business School some 80 years ago, maintaining a harmonious relationship with others contribute to the highest level of happiness. Is it surprising? Well, I don't think so. I think the reason behind is quite easy to understand. Human beings are social animals, and everything we are doing every day are closely related to other people. So we need to have a healthy and happy relationship with people around us so that we will enjoy a very happy life. However, due to different personalities and background of our, growing up stories, we have sometimes we may have quarrels, disputes, or arguments with people around us. And this will badly destroy our relationship. So it seems that increasing agreement, and reducing argument comes at very important place for us to to really have a harmonious relationship. So how are we going to achieve that? I think one of the effective ways is through successful persuasion. Suppose, here is the case. Suppose this, you are a husband and a staff working in a company for 5 years without getting any promotion, but you always desire it very badly. One day, your boss came to you and offered you a promotion to be a manager. But he also submitted one condition that you have to transfer to another city and work there for 1 year. You're so excited and you accept the offer without second thought. However, with second thought, you are a little bit frustrated and worried because back home you have 2 kids and a wife. They need your support and need you to be with them. Since you desire this opportunity very much, so you don't want to turn it down, then how are you going to do to persuade your wife to support you? Are you going to stand right in front of her and command her to support you? Or are you going to kneel down in front of her and begging her for her permission and consent? I think neither of these is a wise choice. Here today, I'm going to share with you a very useful tool that I have learned from my current company, which is called Persuasive Sales Format. As you may notice from the name, it is intended originally for training the salespeople in my company to improve their selling skills so that they can reach a deal successfully. What interesting is that I found it really useful in real life too. Here I'm gonna show you how this will help us to solve the problem for the husband. And there are 5 steps in this whole process. Each of them is indispensable. So I'm gonna start with the first step. Summarize the situation. This is the very beginning of the process, and it will set the tone for your following conversations. And you can simply start the conversation with your listeners by telling them the things that they think are important to them. What the trick behind this step is that you have to get your listeners interested and arouse their and attract their attention. So that will help you to continue your following steps more easily. We will suggest our salespeople to simply tell the clients about the industry trends and what other competitors are doing and the challenges that they're facing or the opportunities that their business might have. Back in our case, if you were the husband, you could simply tell your wife about things that is happening in your family, the challenges you're facing. For example, the financial problems. Maybe you just bought your new house recently and you have a piles of bills have to pay back. So you're facing very serious financial issues. And more importantly, this exerts a negative impact on your kids' education, which is something that your wife cares the most. So by telling your wife about what's going on in your family, you have successfully get her attention, and you can get her empathy in this part because she might feel the same as you do. And after you might receive some signal that they want to listen to you continue talking. After this, I don't want you to stay on this step too long because we don't want to waste too much time on this step. And now it's time for us to move on to the second step. State the idea. This is a very simple step. You can just tell your listeners what your plan is all about, what your idea is. Make it short and direct so that they can receive your message 100% without any confusion. Back in our case, you can tell your wife simply about what are you going to get. You are going to get a promotion, which will make you a manager, but you have to work in another city for 1 year. So here is your plan. Tell your wife directly and briefly so she understands your message 100%. After this, it's time for us to explain to your listener how your idea is going to work. So let's move on to the third step. Explain how it works. What does this step requires us to do is that you should provide your listeners with details about your plan, your ideas, so that they may know how your plans and ideas will help them to improve the situation or solve their problems. In the sales field, we may suggest our sales representatives by telling our clients the products of our company and the price, and also the executions of the proposal for example, the timing, the logistics, and everything, and also the benefits they can get from buying the product or the plan. Back in our case, you can tell your wife simply about how you're gonna earn by this promotion. Like you may get a 50% of raise in your salary, which will help your family to solve the financial problems you're facing. And more importantly, you will benefit your kids' education too, because now you have the money for the tuition of your kids' education. So through this, I think this is a very important part for you and your listener to have an exchange of ideas, because in this process, your clients and listeners might ask you a list of questions that they are interested. So this is a very good time for a good communication. But pay attention that this may cost you a really lot of time, because he may continue to ask you a list of questions and you may lose track of time. So you should always keep in mind what interests them the most and emphasize them, and always get them back, attract their attention back to your topics. So we need the fourth step: reinforce the key benefits. Human beings are, we have a limited span of attention. We can remember a long list of benefits. And sometimes your listeners may get easily distracted by other things, especially some minor topics. So it's time for you to drag them back to your topic by emphasizing what interests them the most. Here in our case, being a husband for 5 years, you know exactly what your wife cares the most is your kids' education. So you can elaborate a little bit more on the benefits that by getting the promotion, you and your family will benefit for your kids' education. For example, you can finally send your kids to some good after-school programs. And you can also build a dream for your wife that how perhaps 20 years from now, you're celebrating the success that your kids are making. This is all because you've made the right decision to take the promotion and earn that additional money from that promotion. So after this step, perhaps you've already convinced your wife and your clients, but this is never the very last step, because the objective of each selling process is to make a deal done. We need to get some actual benefits. For example, you need to get the order placed by your clients or the contract signed. So we need a very last step, which is suggest next easy step, so that you can finally make your deal done, close the deal. In this, you should make your next step very easy so that they can follow without any difficulty. In our case, you can just simply call your manager in front of your wife and telling him that you and your family are going to accept the offer, so that your wife may understand there is no going back. She's not going to taking back her consent for your decision anymore. So here is pretty much the 5 steps in this format. To wrap up, I want to repeat it again. Summarize the first step, summarize the situation, state the idea, explain how it works, and reinforce the key benefits, and don't forget about suggest the next easy step. it may be a little bit awkward to, at the very beginning when you are practicing this format, but keep doing so. You may benefit from this process. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rennie. What a great speech. That's very, very valuable information. And I just want to quote someone on the chat. Thank you, Rennie, for coaching us to be a better husband than before. Timer, please give me 1 minute. And members, please send your feedback and comments to Rennie through chat. I overlooked that our member Ruth, who supposed to be Rennie's evaluator, but she's not here. May I ask someone to volunteer the evaluator role?
Madam Toastmaster, I am Rainey's evaluator.
Oh, okay. Let me see how. Then, okay. Thank you, William, for correcting me. Actually, my mistake is it's Dora's evaluator is not here. May I ask someone to volunteer to evaluate Dora's speech? Did I miss any volunteer? Let me ask Sunny. Do you think? Would you please evaluate Dora's speech?
You asked me to evaluate Rainey's speech.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I messed the sequence.
Okay, I was making the poll, but I think what we're gonna have to do is maybe a round robin for Dora,
Okay.
and give one of us give her something that we took away from her speech.
Yeah, I think a round robin will be work. My apologies to Dora. I did not notice that your evaluator is missing today. And we also need an evaluator for Kanan's speech because Aaron is not here. For this, do I have anybody to volunteer?
Madam Toastmaster, if you don't mind, I will be more than happy to do double valuation if you don't have a problem with that.
Thank you, William, for backup. But I think you already have triple duty, so I would prefer that some people to volunteer. That means
I really wish that we could have another evaluation for Kanan, someone who wants to improve their listening skills. Do we have any volunteers before I try to do that one instead? Although I will be able to come.
Matt is here. Matt Smittle, he doesn't have any role. Matt, are you there?
Well, looks like he may not want to. I'll just go ahead and do Kanan. I'll do Kanan, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Okay, William, I will give this evaluator role to Sunny because Sunny has more room at this moment. Thank you, William.
No problem.
Sunny. So here we are. For our first speaker, we're gonna do a round robin, and second speaker, our evaluator is William, and third speaker is our evaluator will be Sunny. So now I would like to welcome our third speaker, Canon. Canon is going to give an impromptu speech, a prepared impromptu speech. So, Canon, would you please introduce your own speech? Thank you. Please welcome Canon. Canon, is your microphone on?
He's unmuted. I did want to know who was Kanan's first speaker or evaluator, since he did have an evaluation and this is his second speech. Wondering who that was. Does he remember?
I think there's some technical problem with Canon.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, okay, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
I'm going to speak from evaluation and feedback, speech number 2, the level 1 path, any path you can take it. I am going to take persuasive influence. The title is My New Journey. I'm going to start. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Last week, my wife gave me a laundry list of things, just 4 items. She asked me to pick condensed milk, bread, cheese, and fruits. I went to the shop. I picked a couple of items and I distracted by the potato chips and a couple of items on sale. After that, I checked the list and I thought that I have bought everything, and I came home. The first thing my wife asked is, did you buy condensed milk? I need to prepare sweets. The first thing I forgot was the condensed milk. I was shocked because I checked the list and then I tallied all the items. And then I missed one of the important items. My wife laughed and told me that it is aging, within quote, aging. I really got worried. I wanted to accomplish so many things in my life. I want to be like Aaron to complete 10 paths. I want to be like Cheryl Poirier. I want to speak like her. I want to finish my doctoral research like our Sunny Fridge. Then my wife and I sat together and my wife helped me to prepare what I need to accomplish for short term and what I need to complete for long term. What are your wishes? That's what she asked me. Just 2 things came to me for long term. I want to complete my PhD. I want to be a better speaker. For short term, I wrote so many things. I cut it off, I cut it off, I cut it off. And I came to the conclusion that the Toastmaster really motivates me to achieve many things. Hence, instead, I revisited my goal on the Toastmaster. I want to change myself from a Toastmaster member to a Toastmaster leader.
Ooh.
I want to help others. Instead of doing anything for me, I want to help others. But still, I want to be a better speaker like Cheryl Poirier. That is my goal. Currently, I am in the process of reviving a Toastmaster club in Lima, Peru, South America. This club, called International Toastmaster Club of Peru, became delinquent from October 2018. I'm trying to make this club active again. I am working as a VP membership for another online club called Buddies. My goal as a VP membership is to get this Medley Award for that club. I want to grow the membership. I have conducted the club officers training for the online clubs. I have conducted training in creating quality club, moments of truth, how to become a distinguished club, and how to become a distinguished club member in pathways. I needed to complete this training next week, but still I have not completed the breakout training. I used to be a trainer in District 18, so I want to continue in that track as a trainer and train more Toastmasters to become good officers. Last week, I arranged a judge training for a Mauritius club. This training was given by our Chief Judge of District 18. I just facilitated the training. This really helped me to rethink my goal in the Toastmaster. I think that I need to take a turn and help the other clubs. And I am also asked, one of the club asked me to be the contest chair for the upcoming humor speech and evaluation speech contest. I want to educate many Toastmasters in the process of running the contest smoothly. One of the main challenge, as you may be aware, is to get the judges for the contest. So I have arranged more training opportunities to train for the judges so that we will have continuous flow of judges for the contest. As I continue my journey as a Toastmaster, I would like to train many other Toastmasters so they can become efficient Toastmasters and train others. This needs to be like a pyramid scheme. As you train 10 Toastmasters and those 10 people train other 10, so we get 100 great Toastmasters. This is my goal. And still, I want to become a good speaker. I want to accompany my wife in her aspiration for travel. I need to act fast as my wife is always right and I am aging. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Kanan. Thank you for your excellent speech. Now, please give 1 minute and send your feedback and comments or encouragement to Kanan through chat. Tama, please let me know when 1 minute is up. Thank you.
One minute is up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Now we are going to start the second part of the meeting. It's the impromptu portion of the meeting, the table topics. It will challenge us and help us speak in front of the audience without any preparation. To conduct this segment, we will have a tabletop master. For today's table topic session, we will have William Thomas. Please help me welcome Toastmaster William.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Yes, I'm your Table Topics Master. What is the job of the Table Topics Master? Is to ask you questions and keep you on your feet. You may know the answer to the question or you may not know the answer to the question. Mr. Timer, can you give us the timing requirements for table topics? Gerard, the floor is yours.
I apologize. Table topics, minimum 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes. Hopefully you can hear me.
Thank you. First question, since we're talking about learning, What is one of the things that a mentor has taught you over the years? Toastmaster Michael Thorn.
Well, William, I think you're very brave to ask your evaluator to comment on the first question. Probably the most important thing that any mentor has taught me over the years is to have self-confidence in myself. You can have other people tell you things that are good about you, that are areas of improvement, but fundamentally, when you get down to it, you need to be self-confident about what you're doing and what you think you are going to achieve. In turn, that means you have to practice. You cannot just simply go out there and do it first time and expect it to be perfect. So the whole idea of tonight's theme of learning is going to steal my speech when I have an opportunity to give it. But I think the most important thing that we can gain from this meeting or from life in general is to be self-confident in what we try and that we actually try to do things. If we don't try, we'll never succeed. And to be able to have the basis for trying requires that level of self-confidence to go out there and take a shot at doing so. So what have I learned from a mentor down through the years? You've got to be confident. Without confidence, you're going to thrash around and probably fail. Self-confidence is the key to everything you do. Back to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael. My next question. If you could teach something to someone, what would you teach? And I'm gonna ask Brittany.
I think that if I needed to teach anything to anyone right now, it would be this current generation of teenagers and even just college students that are in the workforce. And I would just teach them about hard work and persistence, and that is what truly needs to be done in order to move ahead in their careers and in life. I've noticed as a manager that the younger and younger that I've been hiring lately, it seems that the drive and motivation to learn and do more is kind of dwindling. And I think that it's so important for this up and coming generation to learn that you need to be motivated and you need to be driven to get anywhere in life. So that is what I would teach someone today. Back to you, topic master.
Thank you, Brittany. My last question. What life lessons can you share with your students? And this question is going to go to, let me see. This question is going to go to Toastmaster Cheryl Portier.
Thank you, Mr.
Cheryl.
Yep, I just had to unmute myself. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I am no longer an active teacher out there in schools. I haven't been for 5 years now, but I still meet people that, well, let's face it, they could use my extraordinary wisdom. If you don't mind, I'd talk about a little bit about what I think I should have taught my students. And I think one of the things I maybe could have emphasized more was commitment. Commitment to something that's important to them, commitment to their families, For example, commitment to their schoolwork, to their jobs, and how to possibly balance your life with all the commitments that you can make. I had one student who made a commitment to fundraising for the local food bank. That girl was amazing. I take absolutely no credit for it. The credit for it goes to that girl herself. She also managed to balance her time and become a student with a 90% average, as well as being incredibly popular with other students, and was a great daughter to her parents and a fine sister to her brother and younger sister. Commitment, like she demonstrated, is something that I think many teachers would like to impart to their students, but aren't quite sure how to do that. All I could suggest that maybe I could have done to my students was to make sure they understood my commitment to my job, as I was for 33 years. So commitment is something I would like to see more of my students demonstrate, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, thank you. And that's it for table topics. I turn the control back over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Now, I would like to start the evaluation section of the meeting. To conduct this meeting, we have our Toastmaster, Harriet Tessett. Please help me welcome Mr. General Evaluator, Harriet Tessett.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So evaluation section, which is the third section. The purpose is to know the areas of improvement. What are the things you can improve upon and what are the things you did well? It is divided into three parts. One is the evaluation, where each and every evaluators will come and give their evaluation, followed by the feedback from the helpers, and that will be followed by the comments from the general evaluator regarding the entire meeting. So for Dora, who was the first speaker, I think we have this round robin. If everybody doesn't mind, we can keep that in the end, and we can start with the first evaluator for Rennie, and the evaluator is William. So William, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and Toastmaster Rainey. I loved your speech. You captured my mind. From beginning to end, I was enthralled in your speech. I was committed to listening to every second of your speech. I was committed. You had a strong beginning. You had vocal variety in the beginning. You had vocal variety, but as you got going through the speech, your vocal variety went down. So I really work on the vocal variety. You had great eye contact. You made great points. You had 5 points in your speech, and you stated what those 5 points are and how important they are to getting what you want in life. And you actually talked about how to be a better husband. And I could actually benefit, well, I'm not a husband, but I'm an uncle, but I can still benefit from that from when I decide to get married. So I can use that information. You have an awesome speaking voice. Like I said, just work on the vocal variety and you will be, and let me say this again, you will be a world champion someday. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, William. Indeed, there was a lot to learn from that speech, being a husband myself. The next speaker was Kanan. And for Kanan, the evaluator is Sunny. Sunny, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Kanan Sakara, who was the speaker. Kanan, what you did well was show your commitment to learning as you continue your journey. You explained some of your short and long-term goals, which included wanting to be a better speaker, like some of our members, Cheryl Poirier, a better leader, and doing the things that one of our past president, Aaron, has accomplished. And also you wanted to complete your PhD, and you used me as an example. Very nice to share that you want to just be better in general. You gave examples of how you could accomplish this. That was great. You talked about ways that you can improve your journey by taking on roles and volunteering with other clubs. What can you improve? You had a laundry list of some things that you wanted to do. The organization of your speech was good, but you might have been able to improve it, especially at the end, because although you summarized, you also brought in a couple of new goals. Well, one that I heard was about traveling and your wife. I don't know if I had heard that in the beginning, but what I thought was that it was new. But if you had left it out, it would not have been missed. To challenge yourself, make sure that your evaluator has your speech objectives, because then that helps them to know what you're evaluating. However, I know that you volunteered because you wanted to make sure we had a great meeting, and you took on this role at the very end. But at the same time, challenge yourself to make sure you know who your evaluator is, so that you can help get the best evaluation so that you can improve on your journey. One other thing that I would have done, you are already a great learner and a great doer. You have 4 DTMs. I haven't met that many people who already have 4 DTMs, and you're probably on your way to your 5th distinguished Toastmaster. So it would have been nice to know where you've been to know where you're going. Other than that, I really enjoyed your speech, your commitment to learning, and I look forward to your next speech as you continue in your Toastmaster journey. Thank you, Kanan, for a great speech. Madam, or rather, Mr. General Evaluator, back to you.
Thank you very much, Sunny. I generally love Kanan's commitment to everything, and he always has this motivating impact of me that is something I can relate to. Now, the evaluation for the third speaker, Dora, is round robin. Maybe I'll start with like 1 or 2 lines. I have not done this before, so anybody who wants to evaluate can come up. And given that we don't have much time, everybody can say like 1 or 2 sentences. So for me, I felt that she has continuous smile. The topic was really good. The only thing I felt was at times she was slightly nervous and there were some awkward pauses. And that's pretty much from me. Whoever wants to come up and give the evaluation. Sunny, please go ahead.
Yes, I'll just quickly add that I continue to be impressed with Dora's journey. And this time she did a PowerPoint. Every time you do something new and you get out of your comfort zone is a good thing. So just continue doing. The more you practice, the better you probably will be with executing a PowerPoint. There's always a technology issue, but you can become you can become better at executing your PowerPoint. Thank you, Dora. We enjoyed your speech.
Thank you very much, Sunny. Is there anybody else who wants to say a few words?
I can tell. Dora, it was a great speech. As I mentioned in the chat, I felt that there was a bit of hesitation in your speech today. When you have a previous speech, I didn't see any hesitation. And I thought that you were a bit nervous. And you also acknowledged that in the chat. That's okay. But if you overcome that, trust me, you are a great speaker. Your pass and your flow of words are all very good, easy to follow, and that is one of the very positive things. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Kanan. I think Mike is also here who wants to say something. Mike, please go ahead.
Other than the occasional hesitancy, I was very impressed by her use of PowerPoint in a way she drew in on her natural culture to bring it and make it a seamless presentation. Well done.
Thank you very much, Mike. Given that we don't have much time left, we will move on to the next part, which is helpers giving the feedback. So for the first feedback, I'd like to call upon our counter and grammarian, Cheryl. Cheryl, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. The word of the day got used just a little bit better in the second half of the meeting after I threw a reminder in the chat. I'm not sure who saw it or suddenly people were interested, but Sunny used the word, William used it twice, Harriam used it at least once. I used it multiple times in my table topics. Flagrantly used it. And the ums and ahs were not too bad. Sunny had one that I caught, Isabel only one. Two of our speakers, speaking the most means you have more of them. Rainey and Dora had more than 5 ums and ahs. However, there were many good phrases shared as well. For example, I like Sunny's laundry list in reference to Canan's speech. And that wonderful phrase where it would be nice to know where you've been to know where you're going. Rainey had harmonious relationship, which just sounded so beautiful. And Dora had discovering your own end of the world, mastering the soul of the soup, which was a theme throughout the speech. I thought that was very poetic. Canan used the word aspiration. We do not hear that one very often. It could be word of the day sometime. William had captured my mind as a great phrase. And Mike, I liked how you kept repeating your theme, self-confident, in your table topics. That, Mr. General Evaluator, concludes my report as counter and grammarian.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. Next one is body language monitor, which is done by Williams. Williams, all yours.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, my report bilingual. Everybody had great movement. I could not find anyone doing anything wrong with their body movement. So that is my report, Mr. General Evaluator, and back to you.
Thank you very much. The next one, chat monitor, Rainey, please.
Okay, well, I think everyone is just sending private evaluation to each speaker, so I didn't see many evaluations on the chat box, but it's okay. And maybe later we can try doing some vocal evaluation right after the speech. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. And the last one is Gerard, who is the timer. Gerard, please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Evaluator. Everybody did stay within their time allotted. Rainey did go over by a little bit. And partly, I'm not sure. I know she wasn't seeing the colors. It didn't come up on my screen. So I'm not sure if that's a defect on my side, or I'll ask questions about that afterwards. So Rainey did go over a couple minutes. Everybody else was in time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think all the helpers are done, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll quickly wrap up the meetings. So first thing I like about the meeting was the topic, commitment to learn. That was pretty motivating and really good topic chosen. There were a couple of hiccups in the meeting, but everything was well managed. Kudos to Sunny, William, and Isabel, who did a really good job. There were a couple of things I would just like to point out. When people were speaking, there were a couple of noise in between. People unmuted their phone, or so it's better not to kind of unmute, or it's better to keep yourself muted. Other thing is, for the speakers, when you're speaking, it's better to keep a distance from a camera so that we can see your hand gesture. And Rainey really did a good job in that, because her hand gestures were pretty clear. We exceeded the time a little bit. So my suggestion would be, in case there are a big speakers who are speaking for 8 minutes or 10 minutes, it's better to shorten some other part of the meeting probably. And always it's better to know the evaluators in advance. That is one of my suggestions, because in the between the meeting we decided the evaluators. So that would be pretty much from me. I mean, the meeting was amazing. The commitment of the people was really good. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, I think I'm asked to hand it over to Sunny. So over to you, Sunny. Sunny?
Doing double duty. I believe this must be when I'm president. Is this what I'm doing right now? Or Toastmaster of the Day, do you get it back first? I'm just asking, sorry.
So Isabel just mentioned that can you please return the meeting to Sunny because she has an emergency.
All righty, well, emergencies happen. At this time, acting as Sergeant at Arms, I was busy doing the poll, which I will go ahead and activate. I believe I can do that. And then after that, since Aaron is not here in terms of President Pro Tem, I will also ask our visitors how they enjoyed our meeting. So stand by. This is our poll launching.
Do not include me. Do not include me for speaker, please. Sorry.
Do not vote for Kanan, best speaker. Thank you. And let's see, is there anybody that I need? Cheryl, I need to give you an opportunity to vote. More. Okay. And for our guests, basically, you should be able to scroll up and vote if you see some of the questions. There are about 5 of them. Thank you. All righty. And let's see, we have a few people who have voted. I haven't voted. However, we have a few, and we will go with that. I'll give about 10 more seconds. Five, 4, and I'm going to end the poll. And 67% said our meeting was awesome, 22% wow, and 1%, rightly so, despite technology, good meeting. Our best speaker was Rainy Ding. Let's give a hand for Rainy Ding. And Rainy, would you speak for a quick moment? Your 8 to 10 minute speech on sales persuasion.
Thank you for all your encouragement and suggestions. I really learned a lot from last week's evaluation, and then I went back to the recordings for several times, and so I changed a lot on my content, and I also get rid of the PowerPoint because I felt that I'm afraid that I would kind of lose track of my time, so I just get rid of my PowerPoint. I don't know whether is it better to do so or not, but I really thank for all your support, and I will go back to the recording for today's meeting and try to find more improvement on my speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rainy, and congratulations. Our best table topic speaker was one of our guests. It was close. Michael Thorn, please say a few words. Congratulations.
Well, truth be told, this is not my first table topic, and I still am very impressed by the fact that William selected me knowing that I'm going to evaluate him when the meeting is over. Brave man, Thomas. Very brave. Thank you for letting me participate.
And thank you for sharing. Thank you all table topic speakers. Best evaluator was Sunny Fridge. Let me make sure that's right. Sunny Fridge of Kanasakara. Well, okay, I'll take it. I believe that's what it says, so I'm going to go with it. Yay. What I can say is I am multitasking, but getting better at multitasking, and I am pleased and honored to be able to evaluate. I actually did also evaluate, I believe it was Dora Lee, so I will share, Dora Lee, some of my thoughts to you privately so I can take advantage of that. It's a learning process, and I believe Aaron wasn't here, so that's probably why I may have won. But thank you, everyone, for that. And finally, best facilitator, And today, he was like a triple double. William Thomas, woohoo! William, please speak. Congratulations.
Thank you, my fellow Toastmasters. This is an honor and a pleasure. Wow.
Yay. Did we lose William? He was so impressed. He's speechless. Not William.
I'm still here. I'm still here. Wow. It was wow. I can't say nothing else but wow.
Okay.
Wow is all I can say. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, William. And I believe I've gotten rid of the poll. So if there was anything else, it's gone at the moment. I was moving it out the way. And we do thank you and thank everybody for today. When we do the poll, it's pretty much partly about supporting our members. At this time, I would like to ask our guests how they enjoyed today's meeting, because we are running out of time, but in 30 seconds to 40 seconds, Brittany, please, welcome again. How did you enjoy our meeting? You're in Boston right now, I believe, from Texas.
Yes, I am. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what to expect. I joined just because I'm doing more of a speaking position within my company, where I'm going to be speaking at national conferences. So I really want to get more experience with public speaking prior to starting to do some of these conferences in the fall. And I really enjoyed this. I thought that all the different exercises were really beneficial, and I loved hearing all the different speeches tonight.
Thank you very much. We'd love to be able to help support you in your speaking goals in Toastmasters in a supportive environment. And this is where you do it through pathways, which is when people do their speeches, it gives them objectives. I believe that we can help you do that. Thank you again. Thank you. And Michael, I believe you already spoke, but that was about something else. How did you enjoy the meeting? Michael,
I enjoyed it immensely. I'll be sending my information to Kanaan so he can take my money away from me. And I'm looking forward to making my first speech.
Mike, one thing, please send it to me on Friday or Thursday, because they did not open from 1st of September. So you can send it to me either Friday. Friday will be the best, because they did not open. Toastmaster did not open from 1st of September. I have to pay. That's why I'm holding Brittany's money also. You can send me on Friday. Unless if you want to send it, no problem. But since it's credit card, I thought that you can send it to me on Friday.
I'll send it to you very shortly, and you can send it in as appropriate.
Okay.
Yes, and get it from him before he changes his mind.
No.
Chris Mitchell, are you still there?